Hi, Michael Maynard here, bringing you another edition of Purpose Tips. Like, how can we all fulfill our purpose? And that's why we're here in this life. We understand that we have a mission, so to speak. We were born for a reason. We weren't an accident. We wasn't here by chance, but we were born to do something with our lives. And that's what I want to discuss today. One of the series that I'm talking about, yes, is purpose, but within that, the first step, or one of the first steps, is around self-discovery. Discovering yourself. And I often talk about one of the hidden things that we all have is potential. And potential is one of those things that unless it has something to activate it, it remains where it is. You know, you need something to push you to say, yeah, you've got the potential to do it. You know, otherwise you won't. It will just stay there. It will just sit there. And today I want to talk about something else that's also internal. And it seems to be different in every people for different reasons. Today I want to talk about your belief or your belief system. Your belief system. Let me give you an example of what I mean. We all understand the word believe. I believe you. Someone tells you something, yeah, I believe you. Or you have belief in something. You know, I have belief in what I'm doing. You know, I believe it has a greater purpose and it's helping people. So our belief is imperative for us to grow and to achieve, if you like. But my internal belief system, my engine, if you like, is what's going to determine whether I actually fulfill my belief or not. So what I believe about myself is everything, is absolutely everything. And the reality is there are so many people who their internal belief system is telling them that they can't do it, you know, or is telling them that they are insufficient to deliver. And that internal belief system has probably been impacted by something or someone. I'll give you an example. When I look at where I've come from, my heritage is West Indian, Jamaican and Bayesian, and let's just deal with the Jamaican side to start with. If I go back in the history in Jamaica and I look at how the nation came about, if I look at how they were pulled into slavery, if I look at an element of rebellion within that time, and I look at the amount of the Spanish invaded them, and then the British invaded. Like, there's so many countries that came in. You know, they were sold as slave countries came, and all of that stuff is in my heritage. Now imagine all of that stuff, how we began, if you like, was passed down through my family, and then it impacts my family's belief system. Because my family, like history as a way of sitting in your mind, you know where you've come from, and it impacts what you can or cannot do. And that golden thread that has come through my family at some point would hit me, because I would think to myself, well, I know my history, I know my origin, there are things that happened in my past that was unfair. What makes me think that I can do anything different in the future? You know, it's like someone said, well, if I'm playing a game but the game is rigged against me, why should I play? And there's a lot of us that when we look back at our history and look at the unkind things that happened in our history, it impacts our thinking. And once it impacts our thinking, it impacts what we believe we can or can't do. So there's often, and then if you imagine that's at that macro level, if we bring it a little bit more micro and go even down to your parents and look at where your parents came from. And my parents came into this country when they were very young, and they had to fight to get what they wanted, and it wasn't equal, and all of that stuff. And so perhaps what they achieved was limited by their surroundings. But all of that then impacts me, and also impacts what they passed down to me. So my belief now is now impacted by what's been given to me. So the reality is here, me trying to build a multi-million business across numerous countries, but it's impacted by something that's been handed down to me from those who were my educators in life. And I say all of that context is because you're probably there with your own history. You have a belief system based on what was passed down to you. So you believe or you don't believe because of the information that was given to you. And when we're in those, what they call formative years, where we're first learning the things to read, to write, and who's who and all that stuff, if that is passed down as part of that package information, what that means is now it's inside us. It's in our subconscious. And once it's there, then it generates activity in our behaviour and in our movement. So our belief system has been tainted along the way. Because the reality is, nobody can tell you what you can and can't do. Nobody fully knows what's inside of you and what you're capable of. Even the fact that if you go to do an exam at school, for example, you could do an exam at school and that school has the criteria that they're using cannot tell you whether you can or can't do something. Because it's a metric that's been designed across a wide range of spectrums, which has nothing to do with you. So your exam results didn't determine what you can and can't do. So your belief system, I say it again, somewhere along the line has been tainted. So I want you to work out what you believe you can do. I want you to start again. I want you to look at the good and ignore the bad. I want you to think about actually what you've already achieved in life. You're still here. There are accomplishments that you've achieved against the odds. Many people have been through rough things in their life and perhaps they still shouldn't be around or be with us. So all of those things are points of reference for your belief system. They're points of reference for you to know that you can do it. But it's down to you to determine what you want to believe. Very quick, easy thing to do. I can do this. Self-affirmation. I've been victorious in the past, or I've done this in the past and now I can do that. Use that experience to give you confidence to go forward. You determine what you believe. Only you can determine what you believe.